Hello and welcome. My name is Samuel Ray, also known as Dr. Sam, the Scuff Doctor, and they finally did it. Nintendo, after so many years of speculation and rumors and denials and all that crap, just playing coy, they finally gave us a first look trailer. Like, come on, we've been waiting for this for years. Holy smokes. So, it's finally time to take a look at the Switch 2. And like I said, this has been a long time coming. So, without further ado, let's take a look at this. I've been playing my Switch like a lot since I got it. A great system for convenience. Handheld mode has been a big reason why I even played certain games as much as I did. Oh, so it's bigger. Okay, those are in the same spots. USB port on the top next to the headphone jack. Okay, they learned from the Switch OLED for the kickstand. That's good. They went with a wider, more sturdy kickstand. That was a necessary upgrade because the original Switch's kickstand was so flimsy. I mean, my brother's, it popped right off. It snapped off. Okay, different. Whoa, that's a lot of viewing angle. Okay. And then the Joy-Con. Please tell me. Oh, wait. So this, not only is the screen bigger, but the Joy-Cons are bigger. That's going to make it more comfortable for hands like mine. I have very long fingers. I have what they call piano playing fingers. So making the Joy-Cons bigger is just going to make them more comfortable for me. In handheld mode, I had to get handle grip type case for it, just to make it not hurt to hold for extended periods of time. I hope that the triggers are analog. Please give us analog triggers. Alright, let's see. Wait, does it pop out, or is just that what it looks like? Because it looks like they got rid of the slide on rail, which in and of itself also had a lot of issues in practical use, where there could be some faultiness. They made the shoulder buttons bigger while in the sideways mode. Okay. Yeah, hopefully they fix the stick drift as well. Wait, what? Wait, they added something on the inside on where the rail was. What is that? Like a sensor right there? And then that's a clicker button of some sort. Right at the bottom of the what used to be the rail. And then up here there's something also, and then there's something in there as well. It's like a lens, like an infrared light. Playing around on. Oh, so you just slot it in rather than sliding it on. I wonder how sturdy that's going to be compared to the slide rails. Interesting. That could be better or worse for stability. Because you may have to like apply pressure inwards on the outer edges to prevent that from coming off while playing in handheld. Interesting. And do they have like a magnetic pull in there to keep it in slotted on? Or are they going to use some sort of tabs, which could break with time and repetition? Or is it literally just like a friction-based thing, which that in and of itself can also wear down? So many questions this provides. Doesn't look like they switched the triggers to analog though. I hope they did. Wait, what is that? You see those? They added some extra. Oh, they added like extra triggers. Are those the analog triggers? Hang on. And while you're holding it like that, you could just put your fingers on the backs instead of on the shoulders. Or you could use your middle fingers, perhaps, to press those in. I wonder if those are analog. They look like they could be. Interesting. Is that the same Mario Kart, or is that a new one? Now, the dock's looking awfully small in comparison to the Switch. And then, of course, a new handle grip. Same as the old one had. And it's coming out this year. Playing Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive games as well as Nintendo Switch games. So this is... they're treating it... so it's backwards compatible. But also it seems like it could be like a Nintendo 3DS X... not 3DS XL. 3DS... new Nintendo 3DS type situation. I wonder if the hardware improvements to the power is more akin to a brand new console generation, or more like an upgraded version, like a PS5 Pro, PS4 Pro situation, new Nintendo 3DS kind of situation, or if it's an actual like big leap in improvement. I do like the increased size. They definitely went with the 3DS, the Switch OLED's size, which is better. Hopefully the screen is good. More surface space makes it easier to hold for bigger hands like mine, so that's good. Let's see, certain Nintendo Switch games may not be supported on or fully compatible. Huh. Interesting. Plays both physical and digital Switch games. But certain games may not be supported or fully compatible. I guess maybe there's like, by fully compatible, I mean some may... I don't know, is that like games that are handheld only, or... Interesting. Interesting to learn, but details to be shared on the Nintendo website at a later date. Okay. Oh, 4/2. April 2nd. Switch 2 Direct. Series of hands-on events held around the world. Okay. So let's take a look here at some of the highlights, because they're definitely going for something just a smidgen different. So they're going for a larger size, more akin to the Switch OLED. I'm down for that. More screen space for a handheld is better. Okay. So this is clearly the dock, the two little slots to kind of hold it in place in the dock. And then you've got the charging port. Power button and volume buttons on the top left, just like the regular Switch, so that's no different. Coolant vent, right? A heat escape vent at the top, because heat rises, so you want it to be on the top. Looks like they may have improved the design for that, though, and it looks like there's more surface spaces used for the vents. So that could suggest some greater heat production by the internals, which means more power. I don't doubt that there is more power. I just don't know how much more power in comparison to the original Switch. Then a headphone jack, just like the original, but then they also added another charging port on the top, which will be interesting. So basically the bottom charging port will be primarily used for the dock, and then the top one will make plugging in while you play it more convenient, instead of having the awkward placement of the bottom charging port kind of causing the cord to get in the way while you're using it in the handheld while plugged in. This will be better. As well as for other attachments that use the USB Type-C port. That way you can actually do both at once. For example, they have these dongles that let you connect Bluetooth earbuds, like gaming headsets and stuff like that. Like better stuff than the Switch is able to connect to natively. And this would allow you to have that plugged into one and the charging cord plugged into the other. Or have the Bluetooth gaming headset plugged into, or microphone even. You could plug in a microphone into it. Something of that sort. Into the top while it's docked. So that opens up more functionality, having a second USB-C port. That's a good improvement. The kickstand is just a market improvement. They went with the sturdy kickstand design, similar to the Switch OLED, which was a big improvement, except rather than being a solid piece that flaps out of the back, it's more of a, I don't know what you want to call that, sort of a rail that pops out of the back, inlaid into the back to make it flush. But they also learned from the OLED with giving it what seems to be a good range of viewing angles with the kickstand. Now the question is it going to be like ratchet style, where you have the clicks for the different angles, or is it friction style, where merely just the tension and friction inside the hinges is what holds it in place? Because, again, like I said earlier, friction style hinges wear out over time and become loose, in which case it would lose its functionality. So I would prefer ratchet style. That way you have the click, 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 and it holds itself in place better. And then the Joy-Cons, I mean, like I said, bigger Joy-Cons, more surface space to hold, makes it more comfortable for bigger hands. The original Switch was definitely designed more with the average hand size of a Japanese person or children in mind. Like I would say, like American children, definitely their hands probably don't have much cramps while holding the Joy-Cons off of the Switch. Me, I really never could play with the Joy-Cons off the Switch in the split con mode, whatever you want to call it, because it just was simply too small for my long piano player fingers. It was just uncomfortable angles. I had to use my thumbs and fingers. So now, again, they have the SL and the SR trigger buttons, bumpers, whatever you want to call them, while in handheld mode, and bigger Joy-Cons, plus this seems like these are a little, they protrude more than the original Joy-Cons rails did, which again makes it more comfortable for bigger hands. Also, the rail buttons, I just took off my Joy-Con off my Switch to compare. On the regular Joy-Cons, when you hold it horizontally, these SL and SR are really tiny. So they learned from that for sure and made them bigger. So they're more like proper bumper buttons. Because, man, on these they're so tiny. So that's good. That's an improvement too. Then there's these extra button there and whatever that round thing is on the other end. Still don't know what the heck that is. Oh, you know what? I think I know. Or at least I have a little bit of an idea. Because it seems like one of these, or both of them, get pressed in when you slot this onto the handheld, and that engages something. Maybe, you know what? That, maybe when it presses in, something pops into that space and holds on right there in the middle. That could be a way that it engages and holds itself to the Switch screen main body. So the buttons and the stick look similar, if not the same. Here's hoping that they use better internals for the control sticks to prevent stick drift. I myself have had to replace a stick or two on Joy-Cons myself. I took the thing apart myself and replaced it, and while I was at it, I replaced the shell so that I could have a proper D-pad on my left Joy-Con. But yeah, we'll see the quality of that with time. Now this suggests some sort of functionality when you put it down on a surface like this, almost like a mouse. I'm wondering what their potential applications could be for this. Also, something I didn't notice there, it almost looks like there's a button there. Maybe that's how you disengage the latch at the top, that ring-shaped thing. That must be how it attaches itself to the main body. And then you have to press in here at the top of the colored part in order to disengage it from the... No, that doesn't make sense because that's inside the Switch side part. Maybe that's the part. Okay, so when you press that in, that recedes, and then the Switch itself has a thing that clicks into place there. Yeah, because I'm seeing the same thing right here. So I'm thinking when you push it against the inside the Switch, when you slot it into the side, the circle is pressed in, the ring is pressed in, and then that recedes. And then the switch has something that clicks into place there, holding it in into the main body. Now, what was that? Oh wait, and then these attach to the outside of it when you have it. Wait, are these attached to the main body, or are those? Oh, it clicks into that. Okay, yep. You do have. Never mind, I was wrong. You do press down on here to disengage it, because that clicks into place in the switch. So that's how it goes. Yep. This disengages what latches into the Joy-Con into this for when you're using it in split con mode, and then when you're plug the Joy-Con into the side slot on the Switch, it's the same kind of mechanism that connects it to the main body and holds it in place. Because then, see, and those are like the rails that you can slide on the regular Joy-Cons of the first Switch to give it the wrist straps so you don't fling it across the room. And there you can see there's the slots that something clicks into or slides into to keep it attached to the main body. And it is connected to this ring right here that is pressed in when you pop it on. So we figured that mechanic out, that mechanism. Yep, and see, there's something that happens right there. There's a little slot. Okay, so we figured out how the mechanic works. Huh, and they even gave it a minus and a plus motif. Just like the regular Joy-Cons to kind of guide you. Okay, cool. So it's not drastically different from the original Switch's design. I think the real kicker is going to be the bigger size, the improved functionality of some basic stuff, the addition of the second USB-C port on the top, and then improved power. So what we have yet to keep an eye on, I want to see how much the internal hardware has improved. Is it a marked difference from the first Switch? Enough to justify a higher price point? Because I know this is going to be a higher price point than the first Switch. But is it going to be worth it? Nintendo has never been the kind to really push the boundaries of hardware power for consoles. They've always been behind in power for the longest time. But they usually make up for it in innovation and really good first-party game design. And then, in many cases, good third-party support. So, we'll have to see how that turns out. I really, really hope that they are pushing this as hard as they can power-wise, though, because we need the Switch 2 to be decently stronger than the original Switch. Also, here's a good look at the back right there. Nah, well, that's just a kickstand. But I feel like those have to be analogs. Those have to be analog style triggers. They're like sideways triggers, which is weird. But you know what? That gives you 4 sets of things to do with your index finger and middle finger. You have the bumpers, 2 bumpers, 2 triggers, which still seem to be digital triggers. I wish they were analog. But then you have these, which look like they could be analog. If they are, that will open up its functionality on a lot of types of games. Like, for example, I'm been getting into racing games recently, but one thing that the Switch really lacks is analog triggers. So you're either on full throttle or no throttle. And that really takes away your ability to have some of the more finer controls. And there's a lot of other types of games that can use analog in a good way. So here's hoping that those are analog. Because that'll open up, like I said, more functionality for different types of games and genres. And, or they could just behave as utility triggers that you could maybe program with macros or something of that sort. Either way is good. Either way is good. So, yeah. Still got the same docking functionality as we expected. So, it's not a huge departure from the original Switch, and I didn't expect it would be. Again, let's see what the power increase is going to look like, because man, the Switch really needs more power. Well, I guess we'll see in April. If they don't tell us anything about it beforehand. Well, okay. That's about all there is to glean from that, so let me know in the comments if there's anything I missed, any details that I missed, or things you noticed, or things that you speculate based on information in this trailer and outside of this trailer. So let me know your thoughts, your feelings on this down in the comments, and let's get some discussion going about it. Alright, that's it for me here. This has been Samuel Ray, the Scuff Doctor, and like and subscribe so you can keep up with my coverage of this, because you can bet I'm going to be doing my best to cover all the future developments up to the release of the Switch 2. Alright, have a good one. Later.